everyone, welcome back to the Lord of the Rings Online. This is Gnarlo here. Can you say hello to everybody, Gnarlo? Good boy. We are here. We've left Bree Town. The 5th anniversary festival and all is over with. We have come down south along the Greenway to the southern area of Bree, down to the Andrath region, as you see here on the map. Back behind us is the fort, where Sharky's men have come up and set up a barricade and are disrupting the trade. You remember we were in there fighting half-orcs and all, and killed the lieutenant and I think the southern captain as well. Up here in this area, that is where the Watchers are, Watcher Oakdale and I can't remember something Leaf. And we were running this quest to kill the Knickerbreakers for Watcher Oakdale. Poor man, he's been trapped up there on this duty to watch all these half-orcs and southern bandits and everything, and he's in an old ruined fortress and it's cold and you can't really have a fire because you don't want to bring the bandits' attention to you, and he can't sleep because of all the noise the Knickerbreakers are making. So why don't we see if we can't make his life a little bit easier, get over here and kill these Knickerbreakers, and maybe let the poor man get a little bit of sleep as kind of a reward for this lonely watch duty that he is doing. Alright. So you see, I'm trying to remember to zoom in a bit on battles now. In the past, I've been kind of zoomed out. I want to try and remember to zoom in a little bit more, let y'all see a little bit more of the detail on these models. They are quite pretty. The Turbine folks did a good job at pretty much all the models in the game, all the mobs and the combat animations and stuff like that. They are quite nice. So it's worth zooming in to taking a look at them. Of course, these are Knickerbreakers. Knickerbreakers are named, they were named in the book by Sam Gamgee, I believe. So whenever the 4 hobbits and Strider were traveling through the Midgewater marshes, they came across the midges, of course, and they came across the Knickerbreakers. And the Knickerbreakers would keep them awake at night, all night long, going, Knickerbreak, Knickerbreak, Knickerbreak. And Sam named them. Of course, they were just like little cricket kind of creatures. They weren't anything like these big hobbit-sized bugs. They were insects, but nothing of this sort. So Turbine did take a little bit of, let's say, poetic license with them. But they can be excused for that because, you know, how heroic would it be if you were running around stomping crickets? Now, you can find them. They're easy to find all along the road here. And just in case we run out of hunting them over here, we'll travel a little bit to the east and down the hill toward the lake, and you'll find more. Which we may have to do. It looks like we might have exhausted our supply up here. So we might have to go a little bit further down toward the swampy area. Closer to the lake down there. But we'll see. We're going to kill off a few here and see what we can do. It's been nice fighting these. As you see, the special crit bonuses, the little red button that lights up, my little crit ability is firing off a lot more than it usually does. I don't know if it's an indication that I'm improving at using my skills, or whether it is a indication of these guys being a bit lower level, being that they are light blue. As you see, it's a light blue quest, and these creatures are light blue. I do believe this quest is kind of like the ones where you were fighting against, like I said, when you fight against Krebine and bats. They seem to be a little bit overconned, considered a little bit more powerful. As you see there, that little waves, they do have a stun attack that they use against you, but they haven't been able to stun us yet. They have a sonic attack, much like what the bats use. But I do believe we are a high enough level and tough enough that they aren't going to hurt us. Alright, we're getting pretty good. But you see, we are on kind of on the slope of the hill here. We do have a few more targets, and we can go further down the hill if we need to, if we start running out of bugs to kill. And down goes number 9. Only 3 more to go. Let's take a look around here. And having said that, yeah, it looks like we have, at the moment, exhausted our supply. So let's go further down here toward the ruins by the lakeside and see if we can't find some more bugs down this way. I said there's quite an abundance of it, and they're all around this area down here where the lake is. So I'm going to see if I can't kill a few more, and then we'll be ready to head back toward the Watchers. Okay, that finishes up our collection of the 12 Knickerbreakers. I said I want to continue on with the quest, but Othragar is a level 21 quest, I believe. It is a solo, but 21. And like I said, burglars tend to be a little bit, they're a funky class to play. You either have a really easy time because of your abilities, or because you're soft and squishy, you have a really hard time with these quests. So I like to be of at least the same level. So I would like to get up to level 21 before I continue on into the next chapter here and go solo the Great Barrow. So we'll head on back up here. Oops, wasn't paying attention. I need to be careful about watching my surroundings while I'm talking here. Almost ran into a half-orc and a southern archer. But let's go on up here to the Watcher's Roost, where they've been stationed up here, paying attention to what's going on. I think this will be the last quest we do. I do not believe there are any more that need to be done up here. So let's talk to Watcher Oakdale and see what he has to say to us, shall we?
What's your need?
Yes, I could hear the sound of the swamp diminish as the Neekers retreated from around the camp. I thank you, friend. Perhaps tonight I will find a true rest that will strengthen my resolve and restore my heart. Very good. So it's great that we were able to help out the Watchers here. And yes, no more circles around them. So we are done. No more rings over the heads. We are done with the Andrath ruins, the south ruins here. So next up, we're going to head back up. We're going to go right over here to where Adzo's camp is. That's where we will start to go into the springs here in the old forest. There's a path that goes down, so we will meet you whenever I get over to Adzo's camp, and I will see you there. Alright, we've arrived here at Adzo's camp. Adzo Haybank right over there, watching over his minions. And we shall head on into the old forest here. Now, supposedly the spring we're looking for should be here in the northern part of the forest. I know I've found it before, but it has been a while. Once again, it was back whenever I was doing these quests on my main characters. That's been a number of years ago, so I'm not entirely sure where it is we're going to find it, but we will see. As I showed you last time, there is a map to the old forest. It's actually got a mapping feature now, but I don't like using it, so I'm not going to. I'm going to do the old forest the old-fashioned way. As soon as we sneak past all the forest hunters here. I don't think that these count for the defeat wolves in the western Old Forest. I think we are too far to the north and probably too far to the east for them to actually count. But I guess we'll find out here in just a second, shan't we? Yeah. You see, it didn't give us any count on the Forest Wolves quest, so there's no point in fighting the wolves and the bears and the bats here unless we absolutely have to. Okay, let's start looking for passages along the north side here, because we want to stay up on this side. There's one right up here, it looks like. Along with the spiders. Okay, we're getting into an area with a bunch of bunch of trees again. Warped oaks. I think if we can pass through this part, Tom Knotty Corner. Uh-oh. Tom Knotties were the spiders. I wonder if they'll be able to see through our hiding here. Maybe we can slip on past them. Oh, I do see something I need as well. If you'll see right up there, there is a flower. There's a variety of these. I think either 6 or 7 of these flowers around. And they tell a little story when you find them. As you see, this is Nelderloss's flower. So we'll go ahead and click on it. An unearthly white flower gently glowing from within. The forest leaves nearby seem to whisper an ancient name as you approach. And we have found a new deed, which is Flowers of the Old Forest, which we will look at as soon as I take out this spider. Alright, let's get back under cover. If I can find a semi-safe area here. I want to continue over this way. Said we're trying to stay on the north side here. I actually think this is an exit, if I believe. Yeah, forest hunters. Yeah, I think if you go right on over here, you make a drop down, and then you're back into Bree land again. Yep, see, we've entered the southern Bree fields once more. So, here's another little exit and entrance that it's good to know about. I'm going to see if I can find, like I said, a little corner that will hopefully be fairly secluded and quiet. Let's go on up here. Since that part of Tom Knotty Corner didn't get us anywhere, let's keep looking for the spring. It's got to be somewhere here in the northern area. Uh-oh. Okay. For those of y'all that like maps, I will pull it up. I'm not going to look at it, but I will pull it up. You can see our location on it here and where we came in. And now I'm going to drop it and go back to looking at the screen again. Okay. It just gets more and more depressing over here. All these webs and everything. not sure I remember Tom Noddy Corner or not. Tom Noddy is, of course, one of the names that Bilbo calls the spiders in The Hobbit whenever he is rescuing the dwarves from the spiders in The Hobbit. He calls them Attercops and Tom Noddies. I'm assuming, I think an Attercop is an old, kind of an archaic name for a spider. I'm not sure what a Tom Noddy is. Perhaps some sort of English slang insult or something. I'll have to look it up here after we're through with the quest. And if I can find out what it is, I'll put a little message on the screen. Because now it's kind of got me curious as well. Okay. Oh, okay. We see a waterfall up here. That is encouraging. Very encouraging. So maybe we're getting closer to the spring that we're supposed to be looking for. We are finding water. There's a strange, beautiful woman standing near the spring. Yes, indeed. There she is way over there. You see her? Let's see if we can get over there. Get past these Goldberry Spring. You know, Goldberry is, of course, the wife of Tom Bombadil. She's the river woman's daughter. One of the spirits of the water. So you see, I'm not the only. Tom Bombadil is further proof I'm not the only one who definitely looks strange, acts strange, and married way above his station. Let's talk to Goldberry, shall we? We're looking for searching for fresh springs. Let's not do that yet because it'll have us pick up the bucket. Why don't we do flowers of the old forest first? Greetings, Gnarlo. Have you seen an unusual breed of flower that grows within the depths of the old forest? Their origins are most unusual. As the old tale goes, 8 Entwives came into this forest from the distant south many years ago, and took shelter here beneath the boughs of the old forest. But darkness was everywhere in the lands in those times, and Tom thought it wise that the sisters should pass into the heart of the forest, where no evil might reach. The flowers I speak of mark the places where each of the Entwives disappeared into the weave of the forest, and it is possible to understand their nature in those places. Only Tom knows when or if they will ever awaken from their slumber, and he will not tell even me. All right. So there's part of the mystery. The flowers that we found, that you saw, the flowers of the old forest, they are where 8 of the Entwives were basically assumed into the spirit of the forest. In fact, let's pull it up and we will look at the quest. And it will actually give us flowers of the old forest. There we go. We can actually read the description here. You see, old tales tell of 8 Entwives who passed from the south into the old forest, never to be seen again. Could they be true? Here's Neldorath's flower. It says, you have discovered the flower of Neldoras, an Entwife of old. It was she who was foremost in the arts of nurturing the young, that they might achieve their potential in the fullness of time. Not one seed did she plant nor youthful mind touch that did not come into fruition, unless it was struck down by unfortunate fate. Such was her understanding of the arts of cultivation and teaching. As with her sisters, she chose to become part of the old forest, that it might endure the encroachment of darkness and evil throughout the years. So the folk tales say, anyway. So there you go. We have 7 more flowers to find for 7 more Entwives. I always thought this was a really nice deed. I was really happy Turbine put it in there. They kind of the tale of the Entwives. All right, let's go back to talking to Tom Bombadil's trophy wife here. And we'll do searching for fresh springs. You have come a long way for water and into danger you do not know. It is true the water of my pool is the sweetest. And there is my brother calling. So we will take a break there and I will be back. Alright, and we are back. And as you notice, it is now nighttime because we have had about 4 phone calls in the last 45 minutes. I am never Mr. Popular like I am whenever I get busy recording something. We're still here in front of Goldberry Spring, in front of the waterfalls. So let's get back to reading her quest text, shall we? And see what she has to say. You have come a long way for water and into danger you do not know. It is true that the water of my pool is the sweetest, and I will gladly share, but the forest is wild and untamed, unfriendly to those who do not belong. Take this bucket and draw from my pool. Unless your friends drink too greedily, this will last far longer than water from the wells of Bree. Be wary as you journey back to the road, lest the forest trap you. My Tom is the master, but he is about his business, and may not come to save you. Fare you well. So, we've got to pick up the bucket now. Right there. Too far away. Okay. And get the bucket. And now we have got to get our way out of the forest. I think we can go this way. The thing is, we're carrying the bucket. There is a timer. You've got to get out of here in a certain amount of time. And you also have to make sure you don't spill the bucket. Which back in the days whenever there were... back in the days whenever these oak roots would attack you was a difficult thing to do. But it also means you have to dodge all the spiders, you have to dodge any wolves and bats and that kind of stuff, because basically any kind of attack on your person and you will drop the bucket. And this is a difficult thing too. You gotta... Oh! There we go. That was a bit of a slide down here. Let's see if we can get on out of here now. Said it's difficult. Some of these things, if you fall too far and too fast, you'll spill the water. At least you did in the past. Maybe they've made it a little easier now. Used to be a lot of the attacks on you would cause that to happen too. But it looks like we're doing good here. And we've made it out of the forest back into southern Bree. Now that passage I just went through there, I remembered it was off to the left. It's the one that, as you see, we slid down that hill and you're not going to be able to get back up it. So I don't think you can actually enter the forest there unless I'm confused. But I don't remember being able to enter that way. You can only exit because of that cliff. Because of that, I believe we tried several times in the past when my brothers and I were playing, and we thought that would be a shortcut to get to the spring, but no, it wasn't. Okay, as you see, the timer is counting on down. What we should have plenty of time. Adzo's camp isn't too far down the road. We did this a number of times without any kind of speed bonuses and that sort of thing. And I've actually got my cloak in operation, as you see, the quick feet. So there shouldn't be any issue at all about running out of time. We've got to get to, let's see, Graham Larkspur. Can't remember if he's the cook or the general goods trader, but we'll see. There's a couple of quests like this. There's one over in Staddle where you have to carry water from a pond back to the well. And same kind of thing, there are places along the path that if you get too close, if you get into combat or take too big of a bump, you will very quickly drop the water and have to start over again. There's Graham. You have brought the water back to Graham Larkspur. Thank you for this water. It is very much needed. Alright, there we go. Now let's talk to Graham and see what he rewards us for.
Why are you bothering me.
Thank you, Gnarlo. You have saved us a good deal of time and trouble. I'll not waste more of your time with this. If we need more, I will send my hunters out to the spring. Take this as payment for your efforts. I must get back to work. So what do we got? We got Adzo's club, which I won't be able to take, and that's 232. Adzo's two-handed axe, which is 479. So if we decide we're going to sell something, it's going to be that one. And Brigdale, the boots. And Brigdale is not as good as Thistlewool shoes. So we'll definitely keep the shoes, and we will select the axe so that we can sell it. Alright, there we go. Looks like we are almost halfway through level 20 now. I'm going to go over here and sell a couple of things at the provisioner, take a look at the time, and see whether or not we've got enough for an episode, or whether we've got time that we can do a few more things while we're at it.